Hi guys, I'm in Houston and it is really hot here. I have the AC blasting in the rental car just so I can enjoy my sweatshirt. But I did find a thrift store. It is the Family Thrift Center, and it is on Highway 249 just north of Houston. So let's go inside and see what we can find in Houston today. All right, well, after a long walk back to the hard goods section, because the store is huge, I found this. I knew it was going to be made in Italy, but it just wasn't really doing anything for me. I left that one behind. But there was a vase up on the top shelf. The glaze was really cool. I was kind of bummed that it was a modern piece. So I put that back. I didn't want to overpack my suitcase right on the first shelf. That was it for the vase section. Not too much there. Continuing down the glassware aisle, there were no full sets of anything, and I wasn't really trying to do a lot with stemware because I didn't want to risk packing that into my suitcase as well. This was a nice piece of glass. It was really heavy though, and I worried if I had anything else in my suitcase it could crush it. I looked it up. There were a lot listed and none sold, so good that I left it. I'm a sucker for elephants. This was just a resin elephant. But it did have chipping and stuff on it. It was mass produced. A tusk was broken off. The trunk was broken. So we left that behind. Went over to the mugs, and I didn't really see anything here either. And they didn't have a lot for plates. I thought these might be temptation. I was just testing myself to see if I was right. But I was wrong. They were home something. Still nothing special there. And then going down for the rest of the mugs. Still not seeing anything. I saw this. I hoped it was a mug because it was kind of cool, but it was just a candle holder. These I thought were cute, but I thought they were Dollar General or something like that. But I looked them up. They're actually Macy's seller. So, and this was just a candle holder I was checking out. It was super duper heavy. So that I obviously left behind. And then continuing down this aisle, you can see there's really not a lot there, which in my head I was like, all right, cool. I'm not trying to figure out how to pack, a whole bunch of stuff or leaving a bunch of stuff behind. I came across some more elephants. There's always elephants, always. And this one I really liked. I almost thought about buying it for myself. I've seen these before, and I'm a sucker for black and gold. This one was in good shape. It didn't look broken or chipped anywhere. But I still I left that one behind. Somebody else will enjoy it. Piece of silver plate, just checking it over. It was Oneida silver, and obviously it was pretty oxidized. I thought this might be, was it Mackenzie Child, but it was Starbucks Barista, and I'm not a fan of Starbucks. I looked this up. It was only like $18. I hope this was vintage, but when I turned it over, it wasn't. It was a modern piece. I mean, it was cool, but I would have been happier if it was vintage. It would have been worth it. And then I came across this. Look what I did today. I went thrifting in Houston. So there, big day for me. This is Max Studio, but it had damage. It was a pretty box. They sell between $12 and $15. It could have packed well in my suitcase, but again, it had a bit of damage on the corner. And this guy is he was kind of a precious bunny. His expression looked like he might have bumped his head when he was a kid, and maybe the chipped ear, proves that. And then this guy, just, to me, he looked like, in real life, this dog's going to bite. I dare you to try and brush that knot out of his beard because he's going to nip you. And then I found this just kind of on my way out. I wasn't expecting to find Afghan in Houston, but it does get chilly at night, so I shouldn't be temperature prejudiced. But it was in good shape. They only wanted $3. Okay, well, I didn't find very much in there. The shelves were a little bit sparse. That store is spotless, though, and the staff was super friendly. I found one thing, but I'm going to go look for another thrift store a little closer to my hotel and see if I can find anything there. So let's go check it out. And once again, a sucker for a swan. I don't know what it is with the swans, but this thing was lighter than air. I was afraid it was going to actually fly away. It was so light. Obviously, couldn't put something that fragile in the suitcase, so flew it back up on the shelf. Found this gargantuan thing. I know it's probably modern, but it was cool just to check out. And then this was a nice piece of pottery. I turned it over. Had a felt on the bottom that looked kind of aged, so that always, piques my interest a bit. and it had a nice glaze. I wanted $5 for it, so I was definitely considering this one. And as I was looking at it, I actually spotted another piece, so I popped that back up there, and I grabbed this piece. And I always look to see if there's a felt on the bottom and if it looks old. And the same thing here. I actually thought something might be written on the bottom, but alas, no. I thought there was an answer. But a really cool, great glaze. It was like crystalline. Here's a better shot of it, a little up close. You can see better. This was cool, but there's obviously no way I'm going to... Even if I live next door to this thrift store, I wouldn't even bother shipping this because it would break for sure. But, you know, while it's in the store, maybe I'll just mess with it a little bit and see if I can possibly break it there. Yeah. But, no, it's cool, though. It's the Australia, too. It's a boat that won the America's Cup. There is my mother and my sister. And then a unicorn about to get smashed on a cart. So there was that. I found these plates. Don't see much of this kind of stuff up north. So I kind of gave them a second look to see, you know, just to put some variety into my shop. And they're really cool. They were in good shape and they're fun. So I did like those. And then I saw the pattern on these. It was a cool pattern, but it was like, what was it, Gourmet Basics. So, you know, not really anything particular. And I came across this. So it's Viking Epic Amethyst, but it's so dirty. I couldn't tell. Like, I could tell it was scratched, but I couldn't tell how bad because of all the dirt that was on it. But I gave it a good looking over. This is Ore4's. It weighs more than I do, and it's signed on the bottom. If I thought, you know, it was really worth a bunch of money, I would have risked maybe putting it in my suitcase. But I looked it up, and there were a bunch of them online between $70 and like $360. None sold. So I left that. And then I just took a quick glance through the jewelry case. I'm trying to get a little better at eyeing jewelry. I used to buy jewelry back in the day, but not in almost a couple of decades at this point. All right, so hi everybody. I am back in much cooler New York. It's more my climate here. I'm a four-season person, and it's a little hot and summery in Houston already for April for me, but I'm back. So I could only buy really things that I could fit in my suitcase. So I got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. The first thing I got, was a quick rescue off a cart, but it was about to get smashed. So $3 for that. I will probably keep it. It's just a little ring holder, maybe listed for like $8. Who knows? I did find, you saw me looking at some of the pottery, and I grabbed this piece. So the two pieces I was looking at were both felted on the bottom, and the felt did look aged. So I didn't think they were totally, you know, like brand new home good pieces, but something a little bit older. So I grabbed this one over the other one because it's got a crystalline glaze in it, and I probably already mentioned this in the video. But I have sold some crystalline glaze before. I think there's just kind of a following for it because it's a little extra sparkly. So that was that. I got that for $5, and I'll probably list it somewhere in the $20 to $30 range. I got 2 of these plates. I don't have anything, you know, fun like this in my shop, but I did want to get some more fun stuff in there. So these were just 2 Day of the Dead plates. I figured I could easily fit them in my suitcase, and they should transport okay. I got this one for $4, and this one was also $4. So I grabbed those 2. And then the other thing I found was this. And this is Viking Epic Amethyst. This is their oblong console bowl. I think it's about 20 inches across. But it is really scratched and scuffed. So I'll probably have a discounted price on it, maybe like $25, $30. Because I think in better condition, it would have maybe gone for like $55, $60. But I mean, to put it on your table, no one's going to really know it's that scratch. But if you hold it up, you can see this thing has had a life. So definitely some scuffs and scratches. But the rim is fine. There's no chips or anything on the rim. Double checking myself as I say that. No chips on the rim. And I can't remember if it's like a model number 1148 or 1149, something like that. And then to bring everything home in, I picked up this Afghan, which you saw in the first store. So I didn't find anything in the first store at all, except for this, which was fine, because I was like, well, either I'm coming home with an Afghan, or I have an Afghan for wrapping things in at the next store. So this is pretty big. And it's got some tufting on it because obviously it's vintage, but it's a nice big. It's got the sawtooth edge at the bottom, and I paid $3 for it. But it worked perfect, actually. I was really nervous. Hold on. I was really nervous getting stuff into my suitcase for the flight home. You know, that I was going to pack something and it was going to break. But again, I tried to stick to things that would fit. And then I used the Afghan trick to wrap it. And I was going to actually film undoing my suitcase because I could tell TSA had looked through it because the zippers were moved. But what I did was I laid a piece of cardboard on the bottom of my suitcase, put a layer of clothing, and then I kind of accordioned the plates in the Afghan and placed that in the center. I had this surrounded by a couple of sweaters over in the corner of my suitcase. And then this I actually put in my bathroom bag towards what would be the top end of the suitcase. So, you know, they have a handle that pops out. I had my bathroom bag on top. So I had this in there kind of wrapped in paper. And then what I done was at the Goodwill, they gave me a box about this big to put the stuff in, which I tore apart. And I used that to kind of make a little paddock around the Afghan with the plates in it so that if my suitcase got banged in any direction, hopefully it would be cushioned. And that seemed to work. And then the other thing I did was I put a note on top in some crazy cat lady kind of handwriting that said fragile glass plates. And I don't think they went through my bag because everything looked like it was right where I left it. But I know my bag got opened because the zippers were moved. But either way, I got home, these few pieces survived, and that was me thrifting in Houston. So that's what I got. I'll get this stuff up in a few days, and I'll see you guys soon.